I'm joined by former Mariners second baseman Harold Reynolds to talk all things All-Star Game. Harold, how excited are you to come back to Seattle and take in all the festivities?
Are you kidding me? Coming to Seattle for All-Star? It's going to be great, man. It's one you mark on the calendar and say, I can't wait till 2023. As the Mariners kept ripping down the days out there on the outfield fence, I was as excited as anybody. So, I mean, it's home. I grew up in the Northwest, played in the Mariners system. You can't beat it.
For fans who haven't seen an All-Star Game take place here in 20 plus years, what do you think they're feeling right now?
Well, they got to be really excited. You know, for me, I went to the 1979 All-Star Game, 2001 that you're talking about, and now here. So to grow up in the Northwest and be able to do that is pretty cool. I just remember as a fan, before I became a pro baseball player or involved in television, in 79, my American Legion baseball team had gone to the All-Star Game, and Dave Winfield, who played with my older brother in the big leagues, got us tickets. And we were sitting out in the right field in the Kingdome, and you could have told me I was sitting in the dugout. It was the greatest seat ever. It was the All-Star Game, and it was a fun time, one of those memories that you'll have for a lifetime.
We're going to run down a list of events you're involved with over the weekend, the first being the HBCU Swingman Classic on Friday. You'll be in the broadcast booth for that. How special of an opportunity is it for these players to get to play in front of a national audience?
Well, it's really special and it's very important. You know, they don't get the same exposure as maybe a D1 or other D1 schools or a Power 5 for sure. So for Ken Griffey Jr. to use his platform to join forces with Major League Baseball and get this game on television where they can be seen is a statement all in itself. So it is really going to be an important game. This is the inaugural one, and I think we'll see a lot of kids that we haven't seen before that are pretty good athletes that might get an opportunity.
You're one of the managers for the Futures game on Saturday. What kind of honor is that to get to call the shots from the dugout?
It's a big one. It's up there with one of the great honors I've had throughout my life. I remember when Major League Baseball called me and said, hey, you want to manage the Futures game in Seattle? And I said, well, I could go back home and manage. I have never done this, so it's going to be the first one. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I think the best part of it is I got to pick a lot of the staff and bring back former teammates. And Raul's on the other side. He did the same thing, just going back and forth with him over players. I'll tell you guys a quick story. King Felix was the big fish, right? Because he's the last big star before everybody else. And we're picking our pitching coaches, and we'd had a meeting, Raul and I, and an agreement. Like, hey, we'll start calling guys in 2 weeks. But Junior, Edgar, and Ichiro are off limits. They can go wherever they want to go, be amongst both the teams, no problem. And I said, so we'll talk in a couple of weeks. We'll get the names of guys we're thinking about. We'll go from there. So 2 weeks goes by. I call King Felix. He goes, oh, Raul called me 2 weeks ago. Gotta be kidding me. Game on, Raul. Game on.
So who did you end up filling your coaching staff with?
Well, it wasn't like I ended up with them. I got Jay Buhner coming back. He's coaching first base. Mike Cameron's going to coach third. Dave Valley's going to be my bench coach, the former catcher, so I had to have that. Alvin Davis is my hitting coach. Jamie Moyer's my pitching coach. And then MLB assigned a couple other guys to my staff as well. It's going to be great. It's a great rounded-out group. I think Raul, off the top of my head, I don't want to leave anybody out, but Adrian Beltre is one of his coaches, King Felix, Raul, obviously, Dan Otero, Joel Panero, so he's got a really good group as well.
So from Mariners of the past to Mariners of the future, you'll be coaching two of them. What can you tell us about the game of Harry Ford and Jonathan Clase?
Well, they both are really high talented players. I've known Harry Ford for a long time. Excuse me. Catcher, catch, throw. You might have got a chance to see Harry play a little bit in the WBC. He's actually from near that area, so it's fun to have him come back and play. Clase is just top notch, man. So the main thing for me is getting guys playing time, making sure everybody gets an opportunity to play, and that's going to be the challenge of it all. But those two will get the biggest ovations of anybody.
Speaking of ovations, Julio won the Home Run Derby on Monday. He captured the country last year. What are the chances he puts on a show for the home fans this year?
Oh, he's going to put on a show. I mean, if you just watch Julio take batting practice, if he does that normal, he'll put on a show. He didn't have much choice. I think everybody's going, Julio, you better do this. Right now, he is Mr. Mariner. So it's going to be fun. I think the home crowd is going to love it, and he's going to hit some balls. He's a talented young man. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch him compete.
People always talk about the home run derby curse. Could it have the opposite effect for Julio and lead to a second half surge?
Well, Pujols did it last year, and he felt like that put him on track, and we all saw how Albert's career ended the second half he put on. So I think the curse is kind of dying. Ichiro did it too. He hadn't had too many bad second halves. So, I mean, not Ichiro, but Shohei Ohtani did that as well. So he's continued to carry on big time. I think it's going to help Julio. Maybe he'll find that home run swing. I think he'll find the looseness. But I think the biggest thing with home run derby is you never have a situation where you're standing at home plate and there's nothing around you. Usually there's a batting cage that's over you. There's a catcher and there's an umpire. There's a lot of things. It's you, the pitcher, and maybe somebody catching to catch the ball. It's a weird feel to it all. And nobody in the outfield, nobody playing defense, so to speak, against you. It's a different animal. And I think that kind of focus and uniqueness to it lets you realize, hold it, the game's a little easier to play than it is doing this. And I think Julio will take that away from that.
We got the AllStar Game on Tuesday. You had the honor of playing in 2 of them. What's that experience like, being surrounded by the best players in baseball?
Well, I think that's the key, to understand and recognize these are the best players in the game. And it's really cool. I hope every player that goes gets a chance to play. That's why when I'm managing the futures game, you don't collect an all-star team, get there, and then not participate. Everybody wants to participate, unless they say I physically can't do it. But it is a great time. It changed my whole career, how I approached the game after being in my first all-star game. And it actually becomes a little close-knit community within the sport. So it is a really great time, and it's a life-changing time for most players.
When you say it changed your career, was it a matter of picking other guys' brains or just making friends throughout the league?
Combination, picking guys' brains, seeing how they do things. How do you turn a pivot? How do you shoot a ball the other way? But also realizing you belong. I think more than anything else, it was mentally like, these are the best. This is a standard I got to play at. And it forces you to a level that you are locked in now all year round, wanting to get back to that level. It just changes how you view things, how you see things, how you even see yourself as a player. That, hold it, time out. I'm one of the best. I can do this. And it just takes you to another spot.
What do you think's behind the American League's dominance in the game, and do you think they'll win for a 10th year in a row?
Better players. No, honestly, I think through the years, it's changing now with the designated hitter. But we always had the advantage, I felt like, because of that designated hitter, the investment, you would get that other player that was invested in for a long-term contract that may not have been able to go to the National League. He ended up being, a guy that was in the American League. You take a Cecil Fielder, or you take Harold Baines, or you take somebody like that. They now are an American League team. National League, they wouldn't have that DH, that extra player, that extra offense. And I think the American League played a more offensive brand of baseball. And when it comes to an all-star game, you're not playing strategy. You're not thinking move the man, bunt him over. Back when I was playing, they don't do that hardly at all anyway now. But back then, that wasn't the thought process, so to speak. Although I had to bunt in 2 all-star games, I wasn't happy about it. Still not happy.
Well, for Mariners fans, this week comes in the context of the team really struggling. What do you see in this year's team? Is there any message of hope you have for the second half?
Well, it's going to be challenging. My message of hope in the second half is you have a whole second half to play better. You work out a lot of things. You figure out what players are performing well, who's not. You get that point in the second half where it's time earned instead of necessarily given. Now you're going to play the guys that need to play, or you're going to make the moves that need to move. Look, the Mariners have one of the best general managers when it comes to making moves, and you can't be shy. You can't be beholden to, here's what my plan was. You got to be ready to rip it up. And Jerry DiPoto will do that in the blink of an eye. If he sees the team needs to be changed, he's going to do that. And so with that said, that gives the Mariners some hope to continue on. I think the other thing he's done real well is be able to look and say, this didn't work. Here's what we're headed for next year, and start building that. So we'll see. There's still hope in this season, but I think Jerry will make some moves.
How do you go about preparing for a week like this where it seems like you have your hand in every single event?
Well, first, I love it. You got to love it. Secondly, it almost falls all in the same. Like, I just did the combine. I did the draft for the last 10, 12 years. So I know a lot of the players that are coming along, follow the international stuff. So the futures game, I got an eye on the youngsters that are coming up. Some of the guys that I'll be managing, I've passed across, or I remember from the draft, or different things like that. The draft itself, I'm studying video right now. I've been doing that for the last 2 months. I'll be ready come draft day. You just prepare. You just immerse. You find time, put it all together, and you just do it.